Season 7's pretty good. In fact, I'd even go as far as to say it's pretty great. But just because something's great, that doesn't mean it can't be improved. There are a bunch of little tweaks and changes that Epic Games could add to make Season 7 the perfect season, and we're about to go over 10 of them. But hey, before we get into these, remember to like and subscribe, or Epic Games will never release Travis Scott again. Number 10. Map changes, old and new. It's time to face the facts, Epic Games. The Chapter 2 map has been a bit of a disappointment from the moment it was added to the game right up until Season 7. And if we're looking to fix this season up, then changing the map is where we gotta start. Unlike in Chapter 1, the only changes that have really happened to this map have been around the center, leaving the rest of the map to stagnate over time. The map needs to change a little more, and if the data miners are to be believed, we might be in luck this season. Coral Castle was added back in Season 3, and for some reason it's still here cluttering up the top left of the map, but soon it might be blasted off the face of the island. Data miners have dug their way through the files and found broken ruins of the POI, which implies that the giant mothership might be planning to tear it away once and for all. And hey, Coral Castle isn't the only thing set for a shakeup. Holly Hedges is soon going to get taken over by parasitic eggs so that it can become the Holly Hatchery. And if the promo art for Season 7 is to be believed, the OG titled towers might actually be set to return once and for all. To put it simply, we want map changes. We know you want map changes. It looks like Epic is finally going to give us some map changes. Number 9. Alien LTMs. LTMs in Fortnite have always been pretty cool. From 50v50 back in 2017, right up until the completely game-changing Impossible Escape LTM in Season 6, they offer brand new ways to spice up the game and inject a bit of fun into things. It's early on, but so far this season we haven't seen anything like that, and the new extraterrestrial theme gives us a lot to work with. With patch 17.10, we were finally granted access to the loading bay of the ominous mothership that currently hangs over the island. When you're inside it, you're able to play a pretty awesome new game mode, where you fly around old map locations blasting people away with an anti-gravity shotgun to pick up as many orbs as possible. In the game at the moment, these orbs give you the ability to loot golden weapons from special henchman chests, but it wouldn't take much to change this new cool game mode concept into its very own alien-themed LTM. Instead of having players limited by a time cap, the win condition for this LTM could be based around grabbing as many orbs as possible, with a certain number of orbs being the amount needed to win. Instead of just equipping players with the anti-gravity shotgun, you could let them use normal weapons instead, and with each orb that they pick up, they could advance through different tiers of weapons, kind of like Gun Game. This is just one example of what Epic could do with the game mode if they wanted to, and I'm sure there are many more potential ways it could be taken. Either way, I think it's pretty cool. Number 8. Ranked rewards. Playing Arena in Fortnite can be fun from time to time, but it could also be a pretty painful grind. And for what? At the end of your climb up into Champions, you get the chance to play in for cash prize tournaments like the FNCS, but that's about it. If you don't care about tournaments, or you work well in teams but don't have the teammates for a trios event, well, then your climb was basically worthless. Hype points get reset right back to 0, and you have to start your journey up to Champions Division all over again. All of your progress wiped away in an instant. And what do you have to show for it then? Absolutely nothing. Fortnite isn't the only game out there with a ranked model. There are plenty of other games out there with ranked models. League of Legends, Apex Legends, Valorant. They all do similar things. When you get up into the higher ranks, you get rewarded with special skins or other cosmetics that are designed especially to make you feel good about your ascension to the top. It wouldn't be hard for Fortnite to add something like this into an arena for this season, and it would make that painful grind feel so much more worth it for a lot of players. Number 7. Returning vehicles. There was a time when there were no vehicles at all in Fortnite. Now we've seen so many different types of vehicles on the island that it would actually be difficult to list them all. However, it's a real shame for that the last few seasons, all we've really had are cars. Sure, the new season has included the addition of UFOs, which are pretty unique and interesting. But surely there's got to be some wiggle room to allow some classic fan favorites to rejoin the roster of usable vehicles, if they fit into the theme of the season. The current season of Fortnite is all about aliens and futuristic technology. So why couldn't Epic Games have allowed players to glide around the island on the hoverboard, or soar through the skies once again with the Quad Crusher? It's not like these items are particularly overpowered. And even if they were, they could be kept out of arena and tournaments for the sake of balance. New additions are all well and good, but it would be a shame for Fortnite to turn its back on some of the items that have made it so great in the past, and adding some of the classic fan-favorite vehicles this season would be a pretty awesome move. Number 6. Cosmic Chest Adjustments. The Cosmic Chest was a brand new addition to Fortnite in Season 7, and on paper, it's pretty cool. A new type of chest that requires your whole team to work together to crack it open, and can only spawn in-game modes with more than one player on your team. If you open it, you get some pretty good loot. However, opening one might prove to be a little difficult if you're low on friends and your teammates aren't aware of what you're trying to do. A ton of people have already complained about how this mechanic seems to exclude solo players, and considering opening them is pretty important if you want to get the alien artifacts that upgrade your Chimera skin. That definitely sucks. Cosmic chests need to be fixed, and the easiest way to do this is to allow people to open them by themselves, but just make it take a bit longer, with a penalty to the quantity of the loot that you can get. That way, the cosmic chests suddenly become accessible to everyone, and it isn't a lottery trying to get your entire squad over to one so that you can open it. Number 5. Mythic changes. Mythics are one of the biggest things about Chapter 2. You get to fight a boss character, and if you beat them, you get an insanely powerful gun that isn't usually too powerful to be considered game-winning on its own. At least, that's how it used to be. These days, the mythics that can be found on the Fortnite Island are just a little bit less impressive. At the moment, you can get Zig and Choppy's ray gun for fighting the dynamic duo in an area between Misty Meadows and Slurpee. Or you can get Sloan's ray gun for fighting the leader of the IO underneath Corny Complex. Out of these two, the ray gun is definitely the worst, but honestly, I wouldn't take either of them over a blue AR at the moment. What happened to the overpowered mythics of Season 2? Could we get those back? Please? Number 4. Riding animals. Wildlife is still roaming on the island, but you'd be forgiven for forgetting. At the moment, the only real use that wild boars and wolves have is to be killed by you, so you can get the alien parasites that live on them. Sure, you can still tame the wolves, boars, and chickens of the island, but is that ever actually useful? The short answer to that is, not really. Something that could be implemented to spice the creatures of the island up just a little bit would be to make them rideable. Imagine if you could hop on the back of a boar and use it to plow through enemy builds to quickly knock them down, or jump onto a wolf to run fast in the pursuit of an enemy. We can already fly around with the chickens, so why not add a bit of traversal to the rest of the animals too? Number 3. Summer Challenges. Summer is meant to be a fun time in Fortnite, with limited time challenges that people can complete now that they're out of school. Unfortunately, this year's Cosmic Summer event has left a lot to be desired by forcing players into joining creative custom games to complete certain challenges. The final set of Cosmic Summer challenges were almost all centered around a creative map called the Pit, while others have had players load up into maps like Frosty Flights. On one hand, this is a really cool way to give some smaller map makers a bit of love. On the other hand, playing on a random 3 vs 3 box fight or a Team Rumble map that is basically just 4 cubes isn't exactly fun for everyone. In the future, Epic needs to take more care in picking actually interesting creative maps if they're gonna do challenges like this again. Or they could just, not. Number 2. Weapon changes. Every time the AK ends up making its way to the Fortnite Island, I just kind of have to ask myself, why is it there at all? Over the years, Fortnite has had so many different interesting weapons, and one of the ones that keeps on coming back is the absolutely useless heavy assault rifle. One of the things Season 7 needs is some major weapon changes. The loot pool is pretty diverse at the moment, but there are some weapons that are seriously just unfun to play with currently on the map that could really do with being removed. Sure, things are much better now than they were back in Season 6, since we don't have to worry about makeshift weapons anymore. But that doesn't mean things are perfect as they are right now. Throw in more of the alien weapons, take out the heavy, and then maybe I'll be happy. Number 1. New server regions. If there's one thing I see people asking for all the time, it's for new servers in underrepresented regions. Currently, Fortnite has 7 server hubs. 2 of those are in North America, and 1 is in Brazil. Another is in Europe. One is in the Oceania region, which is basically Australia. Then there's one in Asia and one in the Middle East. This leaves wide areas of the world a pretty large distance away from the server hub, meaning people from places like Africa need to piggyback on the Europe or Middle East servers. Also, Asia is a pretty massive continent, so only having a single server hub for everyone who lives there when America has two seems pretty short-sighted. Fortnite growing even bigger is good for everyone, but to really grow in locations like that, they're gonna need to put in the effort with the servers so that those regions can actually flourish. So those were the top 10 things that I think Epic needs to do to save Season 7. Sure, the game is great now, but why not strive for perfection? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell if you want to see more videos just like this.